Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. On this Sunday morning, of course, guys, the day where Man City have got themselves back into a title race. Well, we knew that anyway, didn't we? 2 points off the top, played the same amount of games. It's basically in their hands now, to be honest with you. They got the game at the Etihad against Arsenal, which is going to be a massive game, of course, guys. Huge game. I just feel like, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Arsenal resting players for the Champions League, because they got the league wrapped up. Now it's just completely turned upside down on its head, hasn't it, to be honest with you guys? And this is exactly what the Premier League is about. You never know. You just never know what's going to happen in the future, and you have to just win your games. And Arsenal have thrown away a lot of games, of course, guys. And my money's on Man City now to win the title. Guys, it is on Man City. And I think this will be a monumental bottle job from Arsenal. But at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see what happens. And, when it gets to the end of the season, we can reevaluate the season and just say that, you know what, Man United, we had a chance here in this season. I really do think that. I think we had a good chance this season. I think we had a chance to really push up that league. And hopefully Man United do. I still believe that Man United can catch that second place. I still believe third will be great anyway. Aston Villa dropping points yesterday against Leeds United. Fantastic result for Manchester United. And also Chelsea dropping points against Burnley. Guys, it couldn't have got much better than that. Man United had a good day yesterday, but it does mean nothing if we don't capitalize on it ourselves and we go and beat Everton tomorrow at the Dickinson Stadium, of course. So we have to go there tomorrow and win the game, because it doesn't really matter what other teams do if we don't win our games. And very important that Man United do that. Guys, before I officially start, please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All that jazz. Thank you so much, you absolute legends, of course, guys. Thank you very much. Now, look, let's get into some news, guys. Apparently, now, rumors are circulating that Manchester United may be about to sell one of their best players, guys. Who is this player that we're talking about? We're talking about Nus Mazraoui, of course, guys. Nus Mazraoui is a brilliant player, been one of our better signings over the last, year or so. Absolute game changer for Man United. Can play right back, can play centre back. Has been absolutely fantastic. He's also played left back for Morocco in the AFCON. Now, apparently, Nus Mazraoui would like to move away from Manchester United, given he's not getting enough game time, guys. He has been on the bench under Michael Carrick for whatever you guys think about that. If whether you agree or not, I do believe he's better than Dalot. I don't care how Dalot pumps his chest and all that. I do believe that Nus Mazraoui is a better player. Now, Nus Mazraoui has been somewhat drifted out of the team and been sitting on the bench ever since the AFCON, and now is open to a move back to Italy. Juventus are seen as one of the potential suitors for Nus Mazraoui and could go for around 40 to 45 million euros, guys. Now, what do I make of this? I think this would be an absolutely monumental mistake if we did this, if we sold one of our players that have actually been consistent for Man United. One of the few players that have been consistent for Man United over the last year or so is Maz, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if we do this. I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United do this, because this is the kind of nonsense that we do at the end of the day, isn't it? But obviously, I don't blame Nus Mazraoui, of course, because obviously he's not playing first team football. Michael Carrick is kind of playing a team to win games now. He's not changing a winning team, even though it might make us better. And I felt that Mazraoui would have been good against West Ham, definitely. He's not changing it because he's on an interim job, So interim managers rarely change formations and think long term. They generally think about now I'm winning games, and that's where we are at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And guys, there are many players in that Manchester United squad that need to go before Nus Mazraoui. Absolutely. Many players. You know what I mean? What we're talking about, guys. And I think it would be a big mistake, because the versatile player who could play left back, right back, centre back, he could even play midfield, some were saying, So I think this will be an absolute ridiculous decision. One player that does look likely to leave is Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee wants to go back to Italy. And you know what? This deal, I'll say yeah, because he's certainly not. It's certainly not worked out for Xerxes at Manchester United for whatever reason. It's not worked out for him, and a number of clubs in Italy are interested in Xerxes' signature. I would make this move. Of course, I would make this move, and I would sell Xerxes back to Italy. However, I'm looking at things from a point of view, are these players going to be replaced? And this is very important as well, because at the end of the day, might not play Xerxes as much as we should play Xerxes. He may not get into the side as much as he thinks he should be in the side. But the overriding fact is this. If Xerxes leaves, who's going to replace Xerxes in this team? And are they going to have enough time to sort out another attacking player for Manchester United? Now, we know with Ineos, we know with the Glazers that we're very slow at doing deals. We haven't even got a manager sorted out yet. So given that the World Cup is on, are Man United biting off more than they can chew in regards to transfers? Are we leaving ourselves with too much to do? Is that what we're doing? You know, and it does kind of seem that way. And when you look at the window coming up in regards to the World Cup as well, it's going to be a very, very short window, you know, because players are going to the World Cup. We're going to find it very difficult to replace those players. And we all know with our board and our directors and all that, they love a good World Cup. They love going to the World Cup. They don't like working behind the scenes. They want to go to the World Cup. They like their holidays and things like that. And this has been the culture at Man United for a while now, you know. You can do deals behind the scenes, but we're just not good at doing that. And that's the thing, you know. And we will use the excuse, but when the World Cup is on, we couldn't make deals happen and blah, blah, blah. The excuses will come flooding out, of course, guys. And I think it's very, very valid to be concerned about Manchester United, to be concerned about the World Cup, and to be concerned about qualifying for the Champions League. Because at the end of the day, if we get into the Champions League, we're going to need a squad, guys. We're going to need a squad, absolutely. And I'm not talking about Champions League just to participate. Manchester United should be going into the latter stages of the Champions League. Man United shouldn't be thinking about Champions League. Oh, it's just a money-making machine that we can get money from, and, you know, that's about it. I want Manchester United to succeed in the Champions League. I want us to go deep into competition and challenge in the Champions League. I don't see why not if we get the squad that we need and we back that they are backed, of course, you know. Of course, I have no trust with Ineos. I have no trust. I think you would be an absolute muppet, guys, if you trust Ineos blindly, because they did give us a 4 out of 10 window in the summer. And I do believe that they need to do a lot more to prove, make me feel a little bit more confident in regards to them, and make me believe in them a little bit more. They need to do a lot more than that they have done, you know. And when I'm looking at the window, this window coming up in the summer is a monumental window, guys. It's a proper window, guys. And the fact that we need 8 or 9 players is ridiculous. And this is exactly why I'm saying about Mazraoui, who he's 28 years old now. So obviously he's going to want first team football. Guys, now, in regards to Mazraoui, there is rumours about Julian Ryerson. Now, Julian Ryerson obviously is the Dortmund right back who could come into Manchester United during the summer. Now, there is a lot of talk in regards to Julian Ryerson at the moment. There's a lot of factual evidence that suggests that Manchester United are approaching Dortmund in regards to Ryerson coming to the club, and we are looking to revamp that right back position. Diego Dalot and Mazraoui could be seen as the backups to Ryerson. Now, this has obviously triggered something in Nus Mazraoui that, you know what, I'm 28 years old. I don't want to be on the bench. I want to play first team football. And this could be the case with Diego Dalot as well, because they're going to want first team football. At their age, they're not going to want to be playing second fiddle to anybody. Now, obviously, the good thing about Ryerson is that he's a proper right back. He can get that ball when he crosses. He can assist. Everything about him, he screams a proper right back. He overlaps, something that our fullbacks don't do at the moment. And I think that he would be a brilliant signing. However, I would not sell Nus Mazraoui. I would not do that. And I would not even entertain any business for Maz, because at the end of the day, he's very good for the squad. He's very good for the squad. However, on the flip side, in regards to Dalot, I would say I would sell Dalot probably. I would sell Dalot and let bygones be bygones with him. And I just don't think that Diego Dalot is the player that is if we want to think about being serious in regards to league titles and Champions League challenging, we need to have better than Dalot, in my opinion. I just feel that. I just feel like Dalot's done well at Man United. He's had some good games recently. Not amazing, but he's had some decent games recently. But he's just not that guy that is going to take you further. I would actually say that Nus Mazraoui is a much better fit than Diego Dalot because he's much more, how would I say it? He's much more of a versatile, powerful player that, you know what, you rarely see him making a mistake. Dalot is every 5 minutes you see him. What's Dalot doing? Why is he passing out into touch? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Do you know what I mean? And he's been there a long time now as well, guys. Diego Dalot, he's been at Man United now for 7, 8 years. It's a long time, guys. Absolutely, it is a long time. But yeah, we have to think about that, of course, guys. Absolutely. But in regards to Mazraoui, that could be a shock deal in the summer, guys. Maz going back to Italy. And I think that would be a mistake for me. That should not happen, in my humblest of opinion. And we should not even entertain any offers for Nus Mazraoui, in my opinion, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone in the stream. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Big up Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Big up Sanjay, big up Paul. What's going on? Good morning, Sal, and everyone else. Good results this weekend so far. Absolutely good results. Now we have to do the business ourselves. Absolutely. We have to make sure that we capitalize. What has been one of the biggest problems of Man United over the years? We never capitalize. How many times have we had an opportunity, even this season, to capitalize on other teams dropping points? You know, now we need to do it. We even did it with West Ham 2 weeks ago, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big Admiral Rex, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. How Dalot starts ahead of Maz is beyond me. I don't know, Admiral. I disagree with it. I do disagree with it. I think that we probably would have won the game against West Ham if Maz started that game. You know what it is? It's just that the fact that Michael Carrick's on an interim basis, he's winning games and he's very reluctant to change the side. This is why he keeps picking the same side week in, week out. You know, I just feel like, he's not going to change it. I don't think he's going to change it. I think even against Everton, it would be the same team. I can predict it right now that it will be the same team. He's not going to change it. Absolutely not. Because once you've got a winning formula and you're an interim manager, you're not really thinking long term. You're thinking now. Now is, that's what I'm thinking about now. I just need results now. You're not thinking about, well, Maz is better for the long term and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Dalot should go ahead of Maz. At the end of the day, Dalot should go ahead of Nus. He should go ahead 100%. Nus could be a left back. He could be a right back. He could be a centre back. He's good for the squad. And those are the sort of players that we need. He can even play midfield. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. Dalot could play right back. He's a bad left back, but he can play left back. But he's a bad left back. He could play right back. And I feel like we can make more money from him anyway. Absolutely. Admiral Vex, it's good to see you, Admiral Vex. Hope you're doing, Admiral Drex. It's hope to see you. Good to see you again. A long time no see. Another reason I would not give Carrick the job is on a permanent basis. Now, look, guys, you know what I would say about this? Obviously, this is one of my biggest concerns about interim managers, about managers who love the club, who've been at the club a long time and, know too many people at the club. And in regards to the board as well. Are they going to be too pally towards some players and not pally towards other players? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, we need to see some characteristics from Michael Carrick. We haven't seen at the moment. When everything is going well, when everything is cushy, when everything is nice and soft and fluffy clouds and all that, it's okay to be like, yeah, Carrick's at the wheel, Carrick's at the wheel. But when it comes to making those big decisions in regards to dropping Dalot for that game, bring Nus Mazraoui into that game. Do you know what I mean? Or bringing Mbeumo to the right of midfield and playing Sesko up front. Things like that. You know what I mean? Not saying that it should happen, but, these kind of decisions show character. They show ruthlessness and determination. That's what they show. And I haven't seen that from Carrick yet. I'm impressed with Carrick in some things, of course, but I have not got the wool pulled over my eyes. I know what has happened. I know what happens with interim managers. I know it even from the likes of Trevor Brooking when he went to West Ham and he was absolutely killing it at West Ham United. Do you know what I mean? And, theoretically speaking. And, you have to look at things on an interim basis. Look, we will reevaluate at the end of the season. Things will be reevaluated, but we do need to look at things objectively in every single angle in regards to interviewing every possible candidate and looking at the best option there is for Manchester United, not just getting Carrick because he's easy, because he's cheap. I think that is important. Now, obviously, there is rumors circulating that that Michael Carrick is the number one target in regards to the permanent manager for Manchester United. He's the number one candidate, should I say, for the job at Manchester United. No shit, Sherlock, I would say. Obviously, Ineos are going to be thinking like that. They're going to be thinking, oh, Michael Carrick, he's going to be easy to manage. He won't want much money and things like that. And this obviously will be my biggest concern. And I've said this a number of times. I do think we need to be ruthless. I do think we need to be honest, guys. And tomorrow, guys, is Everton away, right? And we've had a mini adversity in regards to the West Ham game a couple of weeks ago. This game is a kind of bounce back, isn't it? It's a kind of bounce. So this is like the first bounce back that Michael Carrick is going to have. This is the first small dose of adversity that Michael Carrick has suffered so far. Do you know what I mean? So what I would say is that, yeah, look, if we don't win the game tomorrow, then you're going on 2 games without a win. And then it starts to get, really? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But we do have to look at things maturely. We do. Like Admiral Drek said, I would wait and see. But because it's still early, it's only 5 games, so I'll wait and see. Obviously, there's still opportunities for Nusmaz Rui to play and players of that ilk, Sesko to play, players of that ilk. But I do want to see some rotation sometimes. I do want to see, right, we had a poor game against West Ham. Against West Ham, we had 1 shot on target, guys. And I would not be gaslighted into thinking that was a good performance and a good result, because it wasn't. We had 1 shot on target after 80 minutes, and that was Sesko, right, when he came on. Right. So we need to look at that game and think, okay, that was poor. And then we need to look at things objectively. And we need to look at things, if we want to be successful, we have to be cruel on ourselves. We have to be disciplined on ourselves and say, right, against Fulham, okay, we won the game. We were a bit lucky. We scored in the last minute. Sesko, great turn, great finish. Arsenal, they gave away a ball and we scored 2 worldies. We have to look at that. Arsenal, we played okay. I didn't think we were ever under threat, and I think it was a good performance. The best performance probably was Manchester City. The Fulham game was kind of poor, and the West Ham game was kind of poor, in my opinion. Right, so we need to look at that. And are these players starting to go back into their old habits and things like that? And we should not allow that to happen. Absolutely not. Big up, Gregory. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well, Gregory. Hope you're fine. Hope you're having a good Sunday so far. Big up, Rajat. Hope you're doing well. Guys, hope you're well. At the moment, Man United should be concentrating on the midfield. First things first, midfield. I want to see Man United concentrating primarily on that midfield. Guys, I want to see Man United looking at midfielders, because that is the problem in the team at the moment. The defense is not the problem. Right? Let me tell you that right now. The strikers is not, the attackers is not the problem. The midfield is the problem. Right? That is the problem. Right? Leacher, Maz, if Maz stays, of course, De Ligt, Aiden Heaven, Euro, these are all players that can play centre back. Not to mention Fredrickson and Kolungi and those players as well. You know what I mean? Dallo have been playing kind of well. Kind of well doesn't win you titles, doesn't get you Champions League. He's been playing okay. He hasn't been playing kind of well. He's been playing okay. Absolutely not. And you do have to fix it. Maz can do better than Dallo in games where he played. Yeah, I agree with that. I think he can. I think that I've seen Dallo. He's done okay. I still haven't seen overlapping runs. I still haven't seen crosses into the box. I've seen some good things, some bad things. You can't just say, oh, he's played all right. That's not how Manchester United fans should think. We're Man United at the end of the day. And we have to look at it and think, like, what are the weaknesses? Because there's obviously weaknesses in that team. What did he do against West Ham? Does he deserve another game? This is what we have to look at, and we have to look at things objectively like this. Absolutely. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, of course. Absolutely. Sal, I agree. Sal, Dalot needs to be sold, not Mazraoui. I agree with this. And keep, obviously, Dalot to the end of the season. And once Dalot, at the end of the season, we sell Dalot. He's just not good enough for me. He's not good enough. I like him. I like his personality. I like his passion and stuff like that. I just don't think he's good enough for Man United. Absolutely. Will Man United sign a Nico Schlotterbeck? Now, hopefully, Man United may sign Nico Schlotterbeck. But Nico Schlotterbeck, obviously, is going to cost a little bit of money. And again, Man United need to look at midfield, not defense. And this is something that we need to look at. And we can't stifle the development of Aiden Heaven, who plays that left-sided centre-back position, right, at the end of the day. Yes, we're bringing Nico Schlotterbeck once we get the midfield sorted out. That's the most important thing. Admiral Drex, if Carrick is the number one guy and he gets the job, we will be needing another manager by December the 31st. I remember that, Admiral Drex. I will remember that, my guy. I remember that in December, my friend, absolutely. But look, Admiral Drex has every right to be concerned, because At the end of the day, the overriding problem with us as Manchester United fans is that we get too giddy. We do. We get too giddy. We get too happy too soon, right? And I'm guilty of that myself. But we have to look at things in regards to Carrick, right? And we have to look at it and say, all right, if Carrick goes on this magnificent run, guys, and we get third place in the Premier League, he's going to get the job, right? He will get the job. There's no way they won't give him a job. And I tell you why they will give him the job is because basically, if they don't give Carrick the job after he comes in the top 4, then whoever comes to manage Man United next, whoever it is going to be scrutinized from day one. Because you know what? They're going to say, well, you know what? If it goes badly, they're going to say, well, you should have kept Carrick. Carrick was doing well. Carrick came in the top 4. Why didn't you keep Carrick? You know, and people are going to start talking like that. And then obviously it's going to put Ineos and Glazers in a corner. And they've sort of done it to themselves, really. You know, maybe they like that because at the end of the day, Carrick will be cheap. But I'm not throwing Carrick under the bus here because we don't know how good he is, Admiral. You know, we don't know right now how good Michael Carrick is. All we know is that he's had some good results first 5 games. Brilliant. We had a poor result last game, not the end of the world, a draw, but we were lucky. We got the 93rd, 94th minute goal, whatever it was. So at the end of the day, yeah, we've had some good results. We've had some dodgy performances. We got a little bit lucky. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Because at the end of the day, I would say this, right? My number one target is always Luis Enrique. And Luis Enrique is my number one target. He's always been my number one target because I like Luis Enrique. I like the way he manages the team. He's an attacking formation. He's a good personality. He's a good man manager. I think he's a very good manager, right? I would get Luis Enrique. But I want to know who's available before. If Luis Enrique is not available, I want to know who is available because at the end of the day, if we don't get Carrick, who are we going to get then? You know, I'm not sure about Nagelsmann. He reminds me of Ten Hag. I'm sorry, but he does. I'm not sure about, for example, Tuchel, and I think he's going to sign a new contract in England anyway. I'm not sure about these kind of managers. Ancelotti's not available. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the manager pool, and I'm thinking, you know, it has to be someone special. And the only manager I would say is special is Luis Enrique. But if Michael Carrick carries on winning football matches, he's going to get the job, and we have to accept that, you know. But Admiral Drex has said it here first, exclusively, Admiral Drex. Carrick won't last until December if he gets the job. Absolutely. Big up, Admiral Drex. Big up. It's good to see you again. If MC start Josh, who's MC? Start Josh Schultz, sorry, that will be a surprising move. Leffa, what's going on? Mazraoui won't leave because we won't be able to find a replacement. It's up to him, mate. At the end of the day, he wants first team football, Leffa. And if he does leave, he does need a replacement. But will Man United look for a replacement? Man United might look at it and think, well, you know what? We got Diego Dalot there. You know, we could play other players on the right back position as well and things like that. They might look at things like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. The fact is that Nus Mazraoui wants first team football. And Man United are not offering him first team football at the moment. He's 28 years old. He's not getting first team football. So we need to look at things on the point of view of the player as well, not just in regards to what we think, because it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, what the players want, what does the player want? There's a World Cup coming around the corner. Do you know what I mean? And Nus Mazraoui is sitting on the bench. You know, so he's going to look at it and think, this is unfair. I've been one of the players of the season. You know, why am I on the bench? You know what I mean? And he's better than Dalot. You know? Absolutely. Smash the likes and thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, just Michael or Carrick would be good, Raja. No one calls in MC. Raja, Vino, who will be the ideal number one managerial option? My opinion, Vino, is only Luis Enrique. If it's not Luis Enrique, I don't want anyone else. It's just that's how I feel. I would just say Michael Carrick all day long if it's not Luis Enrique. You know what I mean? Guys, absolutely. Gregory, I'm very glad to have Michael Carrick steadying the ship at United after the back of the debacles of Eric Ten Hag and Ruben Amorim managements. Ruben Amorim had nothing wrong with him, mate. There was no debacle there, Gregory. There was no debacle there. The debacle was the board. Ruben Amorim left Man United 3 points from fourth place, mate. The reason that Michael Carrick is swimming so plain sailing right now is because obviously Ruben Amorim got rid of the toxic nature at Man United, got rid of a lot of toxic players, and was 3 points points from fourth place, which give him that platform. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put Ten Hag in there. And what's wrong with Ten Hag? Ten Hag won 2 trophies and came 3rd place. There was no debacle there. The debacle's the board. Why would you say the debacle in regards to the managers when it's the board? The board are the problem, not those guys, because there was no debacle there. We are the debacle. This is a new manager bounce, steadying the ship. We had that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, steadying the ship. I don't know whether our fan base just have some dementia or something like that, but remember back a little bit, right? And remember what happened before. Do you know what I mean? All due respect. Remember what happened before. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, he steadied the ship. He done nothing. He didn't do nothing. He's not some tactical oracle. He came into the football club and the players felt, oh, he's all right. We don't have to have any discipline now. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. You know, so we got to look at things like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. If Enrique available, yeah, that from the start to finish, this is where a low IQ comes in, Gregory. And I'll be honest with you. This is where a low IQ. You're counting Amram's time from his first season when he came in mid-season, when he had to get rid of Rashford and Anthony and Rasmus and all these players and the toxic environment at Man United. You're not looking at that. You're just looking at things 30%, 30%. This is the Mandem Minion opinion, guys. And people know what the Mandem Minion is. That's what it is. At the end of the day, this season, he got us 3 points from 4th. This season, that's what it is at the end of the day. 1 away at Anfield, right? In 1 year, he won away at Anfield. He beat Chelsea. He beat Man City away. If you can't see the wood from the trees, then obviously, you know what I mean? Maybe this football's not for you, my friend. And that's what I would say about that. And I mean that as respect, right? At the end of the day, people saying 30% counting win records from last season. We could do that with every manager. Let's count Michael Carrick's win record whilst he was at Middlesbrough. Let's count him when he was at, you know, other managers. Let's count other managers as well. You know, you can't say that. It's just such a thing that people don't understand. It's like, oh, but he had a 30% win record. Michael Carrick's having a manager bounce, mate, at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And we need to look at things not like from a fluffy cloud, Care Bear, My Little Pony sort of way. We need to look at things from a disciplined, structured, ruthlessness kind of way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we were a second from losing against West Ham. We were a second from drawing against Fulham. You know, that's exactly. Raja, didn't he beat Arsenal with 10 men at the Emirates Stadium in FA Cup? Absolutely. The problem is not the managers in general. The problem is not the managers, Raja. Right? And people blame the managers, oh, they had bad results. But, you know, they're not mentioning the ball. They're not mentioning gym aggression. They're not mentioning people like that. Just, oh, Ten Hag and Amram. It's just such a simplistic view of football. It's like, just look at the situation that Ruben Amram walked into. Look at it. Analyze it. Look who he called out when he left the football club. Right? Look at the toxic players that he got rid of as well. You know, at the end of the day. Ephraim. Sal, everything is good now for Michael Carrick. The biggest test is next year when we are in the Champions League. There is expectation. Everything was good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was it not? Was it not? Everyone was giddy. Everyone singing this Ole at the wheel, weren't they? So this is why I don't get giddy. I don't go, he steadied the ship. What ship, man? There was no ship to be steadied. These players decided to steady themselves. And that's what I'm talking about. And I know that, for example, didn't that guy say on TV yesterday, isn't it strange that they've suddenly decided to play? Exactly that. You know what I mean? Big up, Raja. Yeah, I agree. Well, special light. Thank you, SLD. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Day one of not cutting my hair until United win 5 games in a row. Don't do that, SLD. Please don't do that. At the end of the day, it's a farce at the end of the day, isn't it? It's a jokery, a clownery, isn't it? At the end of the day, guys, in regards to that cutting your hair business and stuff, yeah, let's not do that. Nah. I think we just hope that we win a game. Well, Man City have won 5 in a row now. You know, they've done that. They beat Newcastle United yesterday 2-1. Yeah, I knew that would happen, guys. But when I'm looking at Newcastle United, I agree with that, Gregory, 100%. Let's not do haircut nonsense. It's a curse, guys. When we're looking at Newcastle, I just want to give a shout out to Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall is a brilliant player, a left back, and I think Man United need to go after Lewis Hall as a left back option. I think so. We mentioned him on the show a few weeks ago. He's a brilliant player. Lewis Hall is a brilliant player. You know what I mean? He's an absolute game changer for me, and I think Man United should fight tooth and nail to get him. And when you're thinking about Newcastle United could quite possibly not qualify for the Champions League this season. And if Newcastle don't qualify for the Champions League, could Man United have some pickings in regards to Newcastle's squad? Could Man United take some of their players? Because Newcastle United's FFP and PSR is not through the roof at the moment. It's not that good. So if they don't qualify for the Champions League, it's even worse. You know what I mean? So if they don't, unless they win the Champions League, of course. Do you think Arsenal will bottle it this time? Vino, yes, I do. Yes, I do. There's nothing to bottle because it's in Man City's hands now. They've already bottled it. I remember when Arsenal had a chance to go 9 points clear, played the same amount of games. I remember talking on various other channels saying that, will Arsenal drop players and rest players for the Champions League? I remember that. And isn't it funny, football? Football's a funny old game. You never know. You have to be, obviously, really, really careful what you predict these days, because at the end of the day, you never know. As I said, Man United lost league titles with a month to go with 8 points clear. You know what I mean? These things can happen. And Arsenal, I think Man United really, really hurt Arsenal. I do. I think Man United, when they went to the Emirates and beat Arsenal again, they really hurt Arsenal. I think they did. I think it really disturbed them, and I think it hurt their mentality. The dose of PTSD came flooding back to them. Those memories that those flashbacks that they had. I think Man United really destroyed them again, and the way we outplayed Arsenal in that game and tactically destroyed them was incredible. Absolutely. No other club can do that, Paul. No, we're not going to do that. Next season, would you give Sesko the number 9 or Igor Thiago or Krupi Jr. That were linked with? No, because I'm happy with Sesko, mate. I wouldn't mind signing Krupi Jr. or Thiago because obviously they're good players, right? However, I will look at it and think that I don't want anyone to stifle the development of Sesko, because obviously Sesko is going to be a brilliant player. But there's no harm in Manchester United getting backup strikers. Absolutely not. I think there's no substitute for backup strikers. Excuse the pun, but there's no backup for substitute strikers. We need substitute strikers. And I think Thiago is a brilliant player. Igor Thiago is brilliant. One thing I would add is, why do Brentford and Bournemouth and other teams in Nottingham Forest, Igor Jesus and this and that, why do they find these strikers, right? They find these strikers, they sign these strikers for a relatively affordable price, and then a year down the line, they're worth 100 million. You know what I mean? So why don't Man United do that? Why don't Man United base themselves in South America? Even Alex Ferguson did it with Diego Forlan and Chicharito and things like that. Why don't we base ourselves in South America, Central America, and find good strikers? Remember, we were talking about Rayan. For how long were we talking about Rayan, guys? I looked back, right, on my thumbnails. It was a year ago. We were talking about Rayan. Now, Rayan, 100 million release clause. You see? Why did Man United just make the move? Why didn't they make the move? It's exactly, isn't it? Begs belief. So I want us to be in the title when Pep is there. If the problem is, and I'm going to say it like this, guys, if Pep Guardiola wins the league, I can foresee Pep staying. I can. I don't think Pep's going to leave. I really don't. I think Pep would have made up his mind already. I really do. I think if Man City win the league, I think they'll go on another winning run. I think they'll spend another bunch of money and they'll go on another winning run. However, if Man City don't win the league, I can see Pep saying, no, I'm going to call it a day. I really can. It depends how it goes, but how he sees things. If he wants to go out on a high, if he wants to go out on a low. Do you know what I mean? It can be either way. But one thing's for certain, Man City winning the league will not harm Man City. It's going to make them go further and think, yeah, that's it. We got that taste back. Whereas if they don't win the league after 2 seasons, you get that sort of anxiety that you're not gonna push on. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And you need a rebuild and everything's all negative around you and stuff. Absolutely. Left wing back DiMarco, absolutely brilliant player. Yes, it's left wing back Marco DiMarco. Yeah, we know that, mate. I think everyone knows that, Raja. I think every man and his dog knew that. I knew that when he played for Napoli. Absolutely. But yeah, DiMarco is a very good player that Man United are linked with. 28 years old, 29 years old, though. He's getting on a little bit, but I wouldn't be opposed to signing DiMarco. Very experienced, of course. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. However, I would also add that we should not stifle the development of Patrick Dorgu. Let's not forget how good Patrick Dorgu is. I know a lot of people get excited by signings, excited by the new player, but Patrick Dorgu is the future, man. Patrick Dorgu is the future. And I think we have to really be careful what we do. We have to be, because Patrick Dorgu coming through the ranks, left back, left wing. Let's not forget about him. Let's not forget how well he did. Let's not forget about that cracking goal against Arsenal. He's got ability. And I think that we need to believe in him. And just like we need to believe in Sesko and things like that, because we are not that far away. As I said, the biggest problem at Manchester United at the moment is the midfield. That's the biggest problem I see at Man United at the moment. It's the midfield. We need to fix that midfield before we get 28, 29-year-old players who've not played any other country but Italy, by the way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So we have to be very careful as well. Do you know what I mean, guys? Absolutely. I think that Patrick Dorgu is the next generation of left back, left winger to come through. He does remind me a lot of Gareth Bale. He does. If those people who know about Gareth Bale, they know about the evolution of Gareth Bale when he was playing as a left back, then moved into the left wing position, and then ended up solidifying his position there, if you remember. And I think that Patrick Dorgu is that guy, and Patrick Dorgu needs his nurturing and he needs to be developed, definitely. Absolutely. If we get rid of Luke Shaw, we got Diego Leon, let's not forget, but he might be going on loan. Then I would say, yeah, let's bring in enough left back. I hope we do get rid of Luke Shaw, by the way. I think the time has come for Luke Shaw to finally leave Manchester United in the summer, in my opinion. And DeMarco would be a brilliant one. We'll be happy with Stiller and Anson. We'll beef up the midfield. It will be an absolutely game-changing midfield for Man United. Beef up the midfield. Man United are nothing in midfield at the moment. If Casemiro is injured, we're screwed, you know, at the end of the day. So anything would beef up that midfield at the moment, you know. So I would say that, yeah, Anderson and Stiller would be a perfect combination for me. Absolutely. And unfortunately, we won't get them until the summer. If we get them in the summer. Of course, Anderson's been heavily linked with Manchester City. Nothing's solidified, though. Nobody's going anywhere at the moment. Nothing is agreed. Now, the thing with Nottingham Forest have got a bit of a conundrum. They've got a bit of a dilemma. Nottingham Forest are thinking about the, obviously, World Cup. So basically, if Nottingham Forest get relegated, prices of their players could decrease, including Elliot Anderson. But the difference with Elliot Anderson is Elliot Anderson will be playing in the World Cup. So Nottingham Forest are looking at Elliot Anderson thinking maybe we're going to wait until the end of the World Cup to see where he is. Because if Nottingham Forest get relegated, yes, Elliot Anderson's price is going to reduce, but it could elevate significantly in the World Cup, and there could be more competition for Elliot Anderson's signature. So what is going on at the moment is that Nottingham Forest are biding their time with Elliot Anderson. They're biding their time and they're thinking, let's wait and see until the World Cup. Because look, guys, England are a very good team. England have got very good players. There's a high possibility England are going to get into the latter stages of the World Cup, right? So at the end of the day, when you're looking at Elliot Anderson, he may have a very, very good World Cup. I'm predicting it now, guys, that Elliot Anderson will probably be one of the players of the World Cup. I'm predicting it now. He'll probably be one of the best players of the World Cup. I'm saying it now. And that is when his price is going to not go be 60. It's going to go up to 80. It's going to go up to 90. That sort of thing, of course. What's your ideal transfer window? My ideal transfer window. Well, Anderson, Stiller, Wharton. In regards to attack, I would say if we brought in someone like Yan Diomande in the attack as well, or we brought in it's difficult. The attack is something difficult. If we brought in another striker, all right, let me be realistic here, guys. Okay, so I would say Anderson, Stiller, and Wharton off the calf. Those three players in midfield, right? Then I would say it depends what happens to Bruno, of course, and stuff like that. Of course it does. Then I would say the fullback positions. I would look at Van Nissen, the right back. I would look at him. I would look at Coyote of Brentford, right? The right back. I would look at DeMarco, like my guy said there. I would look at him as a left back option, as a cover. And I think that would be about right. We need a backup goalkeeper as well, of course. But I think that would be about right. In regards to the striker position, I would say that, Igor Thiago, someone like that would be good. you know, as a backup, as a guy you can bring on and stuff like that as well. Because I'm also looking at JJ Gabriel, who's going to be coming into the side next season. We got Shea Lacey, he's going to be coming into the side next season. Let's not forget about Fredrickson, Kalungi, all these players, and obviously Mantato, who's going to be coming into the side next season. We need to look at that as well. And we can't stifle our young players either. So we have to look at that. But guys, I will go no further than Anderson, Stiller, and Wharton for me. Those three. That will be off the cuff. If Man United sign those three players, brilliant. I know we need a lot more. I know we need a squad. But we'll have Anderson, Stiller, Wharton, and Mainu. Four midfielders. And I think that'd be good. Sade's good player. Yeah, again. Diouf left back option's a good player. Very good point. SLD. Obviously just came to the fore recently. Been performing well for West Ham, of course, but he would be a good left back option, definitely. But again, look, you know what I would say about this is I am a big fan of Patrick Dorgu. I am, and I've said it from the beginning. I scouted him a year ago, 2 years ago, and I think that Patrick Dorgu is going to be an absolute game changer. Left back, left wing, left wing. He's got it locked. He's got it locked. Can play right wing as well. But I would say that Diouf will be a good, smart signing, SLD. Absolutely. He would be a smart signing for Man United going there. Sade, like Rajat said, would be a smart signing. These are smart signings, you know what I mean? These are squad players that will help the squad, especially if Man United are in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say, especially if Man United in Champions League. Because we don't want to get into a position where we're like this season, where we're scared of getting Casemiro injured. As soon as Casemiro's on the floor, we're like, oh no. We're like, oh no, you know, because we know that the bricks are going to come falling down if Ugarte comes on that pitch. Look, I ain't got nothing against Ugarte. I mean, we were advocating for Ugarte for a long time before Ugarte came into the football club, you know, and we were fighting and saying we need to get Ugarte in and blah blah blah. He's ball recovery and stuff like that is off the charts and stuff. It just hasn't worked out for him, and you know, for whatever reason that is, I think it's just that he didn't start well, and it's just been like a domino effect, and maybe just doesn't have the character to play for Manchester United. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and character is a very important thing when you're talking about Manchester United. When you're talking about players who want to play for this club, you know, we need characters, we need personality. That's what we need, and this is why I have my doubts about Baleba. You know, Baleba didn't even start the game yesterday. You know. Gregory, Sal, were you still interested in 18-year-old Lil midfield? Yes, I am. Ayub Buyaldi. I'm a very big fan of his. I'm also a fan of Saeed El Mala. I am a big fan of theirs. Absolutely. But if Manchester United, for example, signed, like I said, Anderson, Stiller, and Wharton, I can't see Man United signing Buyaldi because we've got Mainu as well. If Man United sign Anderson and Stiller, I don't think it's a bad idea to bring in an Ayub Buyaldi as well if we don't get Wharton. So that's a good point. Like, I don't think it's a bad idea, Gregory. I like this player. I really do. And he's going to be a generational, definitely. This player is brilliant. And I would like Man United to go after a player like that. But if we go after a player like that, we have to get Anderson and we have to get Stiller, those two as well. You know, a little bit of experience in there, someone like that. And then we can have Buyaldi who can come on and stuff like that. And then we have Mainu as well. You know, so that would be healthy for the squad. And especially if you're in the Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, and the title challenge, we hope. You've got squad in it. You know, and I think that's important. Will Cristiano Rosso go out and loan? What we have to look at, Raja, is that, most likely, because when we're looking at players that have come into Man United over the last year or so, we're looking at, obviously, Chido Obi Martin, and we're looking at these kind of players, of course, who come in, Sekou Kone. They are going on loan. They're like loan players, you know. I'm not saying that he will. I've not got a magic ball and say that, Orozco's going to go on loan. It's likely that he may. I don't think he's going to walk straight into the team. I think he'll go straight into the youth team. He would develop there. And obviously, they're going to reevaluate everything after that. He's obviously well beyond his years. He's a very good player. But obviously, we can't really tell what a good player is until he comes to the Premier League, comes to European football. Because a lot of players you look at in Ecuador, in Colombia, in Bolivia, wherever you look, they're going to look a lot better, you know, in those leagues, in that competition. But when you come to the Premier League, it's different. It's different. Physicality, speed, athleticism, everything about it is going to be different. So it's going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait and see. Look, I would love Orozco to come into Manchester United and absolutely set the ground running, get into that squad. It'd be absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Leffy. For the left wing, I would go for Keenan Yildiz. Can also play as a number 10 and challenging Cunha. If he leaves, I would give Yildiz the number 7. Yildiz is a fabulous player, left forward, definitely. Yildiz is one of the players that I've been looking at for the last 2 years nearly, when he played for Juventus Generation, which was on the youth team of Juventus. Keenan Yildiz is a brilliant player. Just signed a new contract at Juventus, but that doesn't mean that he can't leave the football club, because he can, because there could be stipulations in that contract in regards to club stipulations, position stipulations, Champions League stipulations, and things like that, So, and also some teams may be giving him a new contract because, you know what, they might want more money for him as well. So Keenan Yildiz is one of my favorite players. I just can't see Man United doing it left up. We are linked to him. We are interested in him, but his price tag is going to be 100 million plus right now. So especially as soon as he signed a new contract, his price tag is going to be off the charts, And even though Man United should make that move, because I can see a big club making for a move from him very soon. I don't think they're going to do that at the moment. And especially someone like Keenan Yildiz would only come in if, for example, Bruno Fernandes leaves Man United, something like that. I see. If Bruno Fernandes leaves Man United, someone like Keenan Yildiz will come in. If Bruno Fernandes doesn't leave Man United, I can see Keenan Yildiz going somewhere else or staying at Juve, in my opinion. Trafford's a good player. Ephraim, good shout. Trafford is a good player. We need to look at these players as well, because obviously they're Premier League proven. And we do need to look at these players. Very smart from Ephraim there. You see, I like these. It's like, these Sade and players like that, good players. At the moment, the best performing left back in the country at the moment is Elliot Hall. Lewis Hall. He's the Newcastle left back. He's the best left back at the moment for me. And I think that Man United should be getting the best. And I think Hall is the best at the moment. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's brilliant. And I think it's gettable as well. Hall will be in the England squad this summer, definitely. I mean, if he's not in the England squad, it would be a crime. He's absolutely brilliant, man, honestly. But there are some good options out there, exactly like these names that we're talking about. These are good options. These are options that Man United could go for. These are options that will improve Man United's squad. You know what I mean? And this is what we need to look at, absolutely. Nathaniel Brown at Frankfurt is looking good potential, young left back, brilliant player. Raja, absolutely off the charts again, brilliant player. We obviously have Tyborg in the chat sometimes. He's Frankfurt, of course, through and through, and he talks about Nathaniel Brown. High regards, absolutely brilliant. Of course, American. I think he's transferred to German now, but brilliant, quick, pacey. Can get the ball in the box, skillful, brilliant. Sort of player that Man United need. But again, when we're looking at Germany and we're looking at defenders, right, we have to be careful here because the Bundesliga is different, right? And we're looking at Frimpong. Every single person in this stream wanted Frimpong before he went to Liverpool. Let's be real here, guys. Everyone wanted Frimpong, and Frimpong hasn't quite worked out at Liverpool at the moment, has he? And he was the best performing wing back in Germany. And he can play winger as well. But yeah, Nathaniel Brown has the potential to be a very good player. However, I would trust a Lewis Hall. I would trust these kind of players before I would trust Nathaniel Brown, because they're playing well in the Premier League against proper teams. You know what I mean? I would say that. That's not to shut the door on Nathaniel Brown. No. But I think more scouting needs to be done. Good player. Is he good enough for Man United? And that's what we have to look. Is he good enough for the Premier League? That's what we have to look at. I like Lewis Hall because he's played in the Premier League and he's doing well, and I think that will be absolutely brilliant. And the number one characteristic of these players is, can they defend as well? Can they defend, But either way, it will be a huge upgrade for what we have. It will be a huge upgrade. Nathaniel Brown, these players will be a huge upgrade, in my opinion, for what Man United have. It's about time, guys, that Man United started thinking about the future. I'm talking about Harry Maguire. I'm talking about Luke Shaw. I'm talking about these players. Mason Mount need to be gone now. I think they need to be gone now. I'll be honest, guys. These players need to be out the door. Let's be real, guys. You know what I mean? I think it's time that we moved on from this. You know what I mean? Because we've had these players for far too long, guys. For too long, we've had these players in the club. We need to move on. Ephraim, Sal, if we had centre-back, who would be your choice? Murillo for me, my friend, Murillo, or Schlotterbeck, one of those guys there. Schlotterbeck would be more of a defensive option. I would say left-sided centre-back, but it would be Murillo or Schlotterbeck. Murillo would be more of a modern-day centre-back, something like that. We should look at Spurs players if they get relegated. Lucas Bergvall is on an option. Yeah, Bergvall's a good player. He's a good player. Hasn't quite worked out for him at the moment, of course, at Tottenham, as much as I thought it would. Obviously, a little bit injury prone. as well. I would look at Van der Ven, of course, the defender. Maybe Romero. I know a lot of people don't like Romero, but I like Romero. I think Romero would be a very good. I know he's a little bit petulant. Guys, I know he's a little bit petulant, but I would say that Romero would be one of them. Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. I say it rarely, but I'm sure Brown would make it in the Premier League. If we want him, we should act quickly. His price will go up rapidly, and Frankfurt know he sell players a crazy amount of money. I don't know if he's going to make it in the Premier League, Tyborg. I saw Frimpong, one of the best wing backs I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And he hasn't made it in the Premier League. So we have to wait and see. I think Lewis Hall is better right now. I think he's playing better. I think he's defensively better. Defensively, I worry about Nathaniel Brown. Man United don't play wing backs now. We're going to play 4 at the back. It's going to be difficult. However, it would be an upgrade on Luke Shaw. Of course it would be. But in regards to Lewis Hall, just because his name's Lewis Hall and this and that, I think Lewis Hall would be bloody... Look, what I look at the Bundesliga. Bundesliga is doing very well with young players, but Harry Kane can play in the Bundesliga with his eyes closed. And that's what I look at. He could bully defenders with his eyes closed. And that's what I'm talking about. And Harry Kane was a good striker in England, but that level, bloody hell. So I would look at Nathaniel Brown and look at it objectively and say, yes, he would be a good option. But for me, I would go for, in my personal opinion, and that's not discounting anyone's opinion. My opinion is no greater than anyone else's. I would go for Lewis Hall for me. Because I've watched him closely. I know you, Tybo, you haven't probably watched him. He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Marks players at games, holds up the ball, runs past players. Yeah, I mean, absolutely phenomenal player. And I think he's better. I do. Raja, if Dalot goes, I will like Livramento as a right back, but Man City is also interested as well. Good player as well. Absolutely. Sal, could United acquire Jed Spence, 25-year-old from Tottenham, to play left back to United as a replacement for Luke Shaw? Is he a left back or a right back? Yeah, he's a left back. Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he's a good player. Yeah, I don't think he's up there as what I think is the best. I don't think he's the best, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there. Jed Spence is a good player. Jed Spence, England international, of course, Gregory. I would say that Jed Spence will be a good option. He's not the number one for me, though, in my opinion. But he's up there in the top 5, top 10. But will we replace him? You know what I mean? Will we get a left back? That's the thing, Gregory. How has Anthony Robinson not secured a move to a top 8 club, bigger club? Big up, my friend. Anthony Robinson. Tybo, sure, so we just need to know huge difference between 2 leagues. It's just my personal feeling he would do well. There are also other options, of course. He's just one of them. He's a good player, Tybo. He's a good player. Ideally, I would love to sign Nathaniel Brown. I would love to sign Lewis Hall. I would love to sign Trafford. I would love to sign Jed Spence. I would love to sign these players. Any one of those players, Tyborg, would be an upgrade to Luke Shaw. However, I don't want to close the door on Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu, of course, we brought Patrick Dorgu in to be a left back as well. So I like Patrick Dorgu, and I think Patrick Dorgu gives me so many good feelings about his play in regards to he can play left wing, he can play left back, he can do this, he can play right wing, he can play right back. I like him, and I don't want to stifle any players, but Man United quite obviously need a fullback. And any one of those players that we're mentioning, Tyborg, of course, it's personal opinion, right? But I watched all of these players. This is what I do, and I looked at Lewis Hall. I've looked at Nathaniel Brown religiously, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I'm looking at these players and I'm thinking, you know what? Lewis Hall is the next guy. He's brilliant. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Raja, he is a left back from Fulham FC. Oh, Robinson. Yeah, no. The American, you mean? I've got confused there. Anthony Robinson, 2 E's. Anthony Robinson. Raja, what I would say is that he's a little bit on the older side. Good player. Man United were linked to him a year ago. He's a little bit on the old side, though, and he's a little bit on the expensive side. But what I would say is one of the options, but definitely not the player that I thought. But it's Anthony Robinson. My friend, you confused me. I'm thinking of Anthony Robinson, the goalkeeper. You know what I mean? I'm looking at that as thinking the goalkeeper, Anthony Robinson. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness me. If you know, you know. Metal. Sal, Ryan almost scored an absolute worldie yesterday. Please scout more players like him and start pushing the agenda. Metal, I scouted Ryan. There's only so much I can do, mate. I mentioned Ryan before it became popular to mention Ryan. You know what I mean? I mentioned Ryan before anyone was talking about Ryan. And I said Man United should sign Ryan. You know, and if you scroll back to the streams that I've been doing, I did about Ryan. You know, I was telling Man United need to act now because Man United was scouting him, Metal. Man United was scouting him. Man United were aware of Ryan, you know, but they don't listen. They don't listen. They should actually get me as a scout, man. Honest to God, because they don't want to listen. Now Ryan is valued at around 100 million. Who's good at business then? They look pretty stupid, don't they? Because at the end of the day, they were scouting him for about a year and they didn't make a move on him. And I'm sure he would have went to Manchester United. Because what Bournemouth do, guys, what Bournemouth do, right? Bournemouth will look at Ryan and say, oh, Man United want that player Ryan. Check him out. He's only 20 million. Check him out. And then they'll check him out and then they'll make the move before anyone else. You know what I mean? Guys, 32 likes. Please don't forget. Let's get to 50 likes, guys. We've got 70 in the house now. Please, let's get to 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. If we could do that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If we can do that, you know what I mean? Let's get to 50 likes, guys. We have to get to 50. That's the fierce hold, isn't it? That's the fierce. It's 50 likes before the end of the show. That's what we need, guys. Smash a like, guys. Come on, you guys, please. Absolutely. Sal, would Miles Skelly, 19-year-old left back, English international with Arsenal, be? You don't need to describe who he is. I know who Skelly is. Born in Harold Wood. Blah, blah, blah. I know who he is, Gregory. Lewis Skelly is an England international, Gregory. I think we don't need to say 19-year-old left back English international. I think we know who he is, Gregory. It's insulting to someone's intelligence. Arsenal will be possible a question to place Luke Shaw. Possible, yeah, but Arsenal won't sell him. Arsenal won't sell. They'd be stupid to sell Lewis Skelly. They'll be stupid. Lewis Skelly is an absolute game changer. Brilliant player. Yeah. But he's not going to Man United. Definitely not. Lefo, I think in the next 4 years, Sesko should reach Erling Haaland level. Big pressure. Big pressure. This is the problem. Our ownership will always look at the price tag first and then the talent. It should be vice versa. They shouldn't even ask the price tag. When they see a player that they see that is talented and can change Man United and possibly help Man United win a title or something, they say, how much? How much for him? That's it. And get him. You know, and they shouldn't even worry about it. How much would it take to get him, should I say? How much would it take to get him? They should. And I don't care who we sign, really, as long as they're good enough for Manchester United, as long as they're going to come into Man United and they're going to be a game changer. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day. Yeah, a game changer, you know. But you're right there, Tyborg, that our board, they're more focused on how much is he? You know, how much can we get for him? How much is his resale value? Da-di-da-di-da, that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem. This is the problem. Do you know what I mean? This is the problem with it. Gregory Sesko keeps improving. He will do. He will do. But he needs more opportunities. I've said it. And I'll say it again. Ahmad on the bench, Bremo on the right, Sesko up front. That's how it should be. I'm sorry. I don't see in Bremo as a striker. We have to either drop Ahmad or drop in Bremo. I would put Ahmad on the bench and I'll put in Bremo as a right wing and I'll put Sesko up front. Sesko should play up front, not in Bremo. Sesko saved us the game against West Ham, saved us the game against Fulham. An absolutely brilliant striker, and he should be starting now. And then Bremo should be on the right. Ahmad should come off the bench, which would be more effective anyway after 60 minutes with the pace. He should come off the bench. And then Bremo should be right. 20 goals in the season from the right, by the way, in Bremo for Brentford last season, by the way. You know? I think that's what should happen. It would improve Man United. It would improve Man United, absolutely. And also, Mbremo's a far better cross of the ball. And when you got a player like Mbremo and Sesko, and you got Mbremo whipping that ball into the box, you know what I mean? It's dangerous. And obviously Sesko will get on the end of them. And I do think that Sesko should start against Everton, but I don't think he will, you know, at the end of the day. But I think this is the one mistake that Carrick is making at the moment. Carrick is coming across as like, I don't really want to change it, even though we were crap against West Ham and should have lost. We were a side rule pass away from losing 2-0 to West Ham. You know, Wilson was greedy. If Wilson passed it to his side, that would have been it. Sesko is very good, but we need another striker. We can't exactly expect Antonio to lead the front line. We used to have 4 strikers on. We can't put all the pressure on him, no. But he hasn't played, you know. So at the end of the day, he's getting good, and I think he's going to be a good striker. And I think he's got the mentality to do it. I think he has. He's scoring goals. He's got the equaliser against West Ham, got the winner against Fulham. I think before Ruben Amorim got sacked, he got 3 goals in 2 games. He's scoring goals, so he needs to play. And I don't think anyone in the Premier League at the moment has the ceiling that he has. Yes, we need another striker, of course, on the bench. But, you know, I think Sesko's going to lead the line, and I think he's going to do it very well. But Bremo needs to move to that right, and Bremo's not a striker. And Bremo needs to be moved to the right. Sesko needs to move up front, and Ahmad needs to drop to the bench for me. That's what I think. And I think Ahmad can come on 60 minutes or something and cause havoc. And that's how I feel about it. You know, because I look at Ahmad and I think he's a little bit not effective enough. And I think that Ahmad will thrive from the bench. I really do think that, in my opinion, I think he would thrive from the bench. Lefo, I think Favell will push for Julian Nagelsmann. Probably Lefo, given that he's Red Bull associations, of course. His Red Bull connections and stuff like that. Yeah, probably will be Nagelsmann they'll be pushing for, definitely. I worry about Nagelsmann, honestly. It reminds me of Ten Hag a little bit. I'm sorry, but he does. But Luis Enrique is a much better manager. It's proven as well. Nagelsmann kind of flopped as well at other clubs, you know. So I would say Luis Enrique or nobody for me, or just keep Carrick, you know. But I do understand that, Lefo. I do think that they will go for Nagelsmann because of Vivel, because of the Red Bull group and stuff like that. We might as well be sponsored by Red Bull. Why not? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there is a Red Bull Leeds. Remember the Red Bull Leeds? Good result for Red Bull Leeds yesterday, by the way. They drew 1-1 with Aston Villa. Good result for Man United. Sal, do you do watch along today? I'm doing a Tottenham against Arsenal game at the moment, but keep your notifications on in case I do the Liverpool game. I'm sort of thinking about it, but I have to see, because every single game now affects Manchester United, doesn't it? It does. Taiwo, big up Taiwo. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. It's time we start introducing Chido and Martins into our games. Ramadan Mubarak, Taiwo. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome. I hope you're having a blessed Ramadan so far, my friend. Chido Martins on loan at the end of the day. So I would say not yet. He's not ready. Not ready yet. He's a bit of a Bambi on ice, Taiwo, at the moment. A bit of a Bambi on ice. He's not on loan, but he's just a bit of a Bambi on ice. If Xerxes leaves in the summer, there is a chance for Chido Obi Martin. I think Sesko's much better at the moment, and we need what's better. Sesko's a brilliant player. What that goal against West Ham, nobody scores that goal. I'm sorry. What a world-class finish. Hey, how much more time till Dorgu returns? Not long. He's in training now, so hopefully not long. I would say a month, roughly. Would you take Marcus Thuram? No. Not prolific enough. Big up, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate you. Please, guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Let's get to 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. We had nearly 100 in the house. We need to get 50 likes at least, guys. Come on. Guys, also, please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to put your notifications on and stuff like that in case I do go live. Sal, could United acquire right back Trent Alexander-Arnold? No, because he's ex-Liverpool, Gregory. He's too much of a scouser, mate. Gregory, Trent Alexander-Arnold will never come to Manchester United. He loves Liverpool too much. And it's just like I said about Xabi Alonso. They're not going to come to Man United, no. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jurgen Klopp, Xabi Alonso, McAllister, all these players are not going to come to Man United. The rivalry between Liverpool and Man United, is too fierce. And especially the fact that Trent is Liverpool through and through. Do you know what I mean? He's a proper Liverpool guy. You know what I mean? And it cannot be underestimated, and that rivalry there, Gregory, is always going to be there. Have a great day, Benny. Top man. Thank you so much. Big up Gregory and big up Benny. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Thank you for joining me. I will be back for the Arsenal versus Tottenham North London derby, guys. Join me for that. Obviously, massive game now. Big implications on regards to Arsenal. If Arsenal lose that game, are they now officially in a big problem, guys. I think they're in a big problem already. You know, we all said the same thing about Michael Owen, but Michael Owen was never a Scouser. Michael Owen went to Real Madrid and then went to Newcastle and then went to Man United and was about to retire. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a proper Scouser, mate. Proper Scouser, loves Liverpool, supports Liverpool. Michael Owen didn't even support Liverpool. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, if you don't know about the rivalry between Man United, look, I fed up with educating people about this, right? If you don't know about the rivalry between Man United and Liverpool, Man United, the last time we transferred between two clubs was 1964, right? When you're looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold, you need to understand who Trent Alexander is and who Michael Owen was. They're completely two ends of the spectrum here, right? Michael Owen was a player that I think he supported another footballer, Newcastle, I think he supported. And then he ended up going to Real Madrid. He ended up going to Newcastle and then went to Man United, right? And he had nowhere else to go. Trent Alexander-Arnold last season was playing for Liverpool. You know what I mean? He's a big player for Liverpool, massive player for Liverpool. Liverpool fan, born and bred. Liverpool season ticket holder. That's what we're talking about. There's a difference between that, right? There's a difference between that. Do not discount that. Do not discount that. I urge you, Gregory, don't discount that. I respect you, Gregory, but it's not going to happen, mate. I know a lot of people go, Owen did the same. How many times has that happened in history? How many times? And how hated was Michael Owen? Michael Owen was hated by Man United fans and Liverpool fans in the end. Paul Ince, who went to Liverpool, was hated by Man United fans. You know, and that's what happens. It's rare. And it doesn't happen because of that. And I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to want to be hated by Liverpool. Absolutely not. Guys, absolutely not. Anyway, goodness me. Really, 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 really. You know, there's Google there. We have to look at it. But guys, thank you, guys. Gregory, you're throwing names out there at the moment. Reece James will cost about 50, 60, 70 million. And, you know, would he go to Man United? I don't know. And he's injury prone as well. Good player, but injury prone. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Really appreciate you. Guys, don't forget to smash a like. I know there's some people who haven't smashed a like yet. Guys, absolutely. Thank you so much. And please don't forget to be here, guys. Be here for the watch along. It's very important, guys. I need your numbers, please. Everyone, guys, we can have a chat about football like this. Come on to the watch along. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate that. Absolutely. And guys, subscribe if you're new and put your notifications on in case I do go live, guys. Have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. See you soon, guys. Peace.